Ugh, this path isn't the right way either. Why do epic quests always involve a lot of legwork?
Well, Abyss is a big place. Maybe it's time to start on your next epic quest. Giving up and going home. People are dying up there after all. We don't have time for this sort of thing.
What sort of thing? You? I'd say you're way more important than the pursuit of war. More interesting, too.
Yeah, and the next big thing in Christology. How flattering. You gotta stop saying things like that or someone might get the wrong idea. Lucky for you, I'm used to your weirdness by now.
I'm sorry my sincerity rubbed you the wrong way. I meant what I said, but that's fine. Now, back to your ability. I've discovered that this power can be attributed to your blood. The magic originates from your crest. There have been leaps and bounds in research on summoning magic focused on an arbitrary target. The only remaining problems are perception and distance, though it could be argued.
Blah, blah, big words, blah. I don't even get what you're saying.
You don't have to understand it to appreciate its implication. Here's the connection. Once we understand your power, it's essential that we have a theoretical grasp on how to control it.
All right, I'll do my best.
That isn't as scientific as what I had in mind.
I'll probably need your help wrapping my head around the theoretical stuff. You up for that? No pressure. Well, people might die if you say no, so some pressure, I guess.
Huh? Why me? I guess it can't be helped. I suppose foisting this task on Professor Hanneman would be a waste of my precious efforts. This isn't what I had in mind, but I guess I'm the only man for the job, come to think of it.
Sounds great. Hey, if you're tired, there's no shame in calling it a day and heading back to the surface.
It's more walking than I expected. I've lost sleep over this. But you're way more important than a... Oh, right. You don't like me when I'm sincere. Well, let's get on with the adventure then. We'll check out that hidden passage next. We've got to find that book that Timotheus is said to have left behind. Come along.
Fine. But what if we don't find the book, and you can't figure out a way to solve this?
I've come this far. Now I've got to see it through to the end. How will I ever nap in peace otherwise?
Sounds like we might be stuck together for a while.
Hello.
You're...
Seems simple enough. Now is... I am...
Oh! There... How...
You... This'll come in.
Professor.
Thank you for helping me with my training again today, Professor. I'm gonna keep at it for a while longer, so you go on ahead. I can't. Not when I'm right on the cusp of using my power to greater potential. Surely you yourself are tired. Just don't worry about me, okay? I'm sorry, Professor. It was careless of me to continue, despite how fatigued I probably should have listened to you. Now I've made a mess of things. I can't help but feel the need to rush in all things constantly. You get that way when you realize you haven't got much time. 18 years ago, House Ordelia was involved in a civil conflict within the Empire. All we did was respond to a call for aid. We weren't involved politically, but once the rebellion was crushed, my family was held responsible for the aid we gave, and the Empire gained some sway over us as a result. At the time, the noble houses of the Alliance took a passive stance. No one lent aid to my family. As a result, some key officials within the family were killed, and people from the Empire were sent to replace them. Among those people were some mysterious mages. They were unsettling, in a word. Skin pale as death. One after another, they captured and imprisoned the children of our household. They began performing terrible rituals on the children, though it's probably more accurate to call them experiments. With the Empire monitoring our every move, my parents could do nothing but watch in horror as all of this unfolded. One after another, the children died, until the only one left was me. You know, my hair wasn't always this color. During their experiments, they'd been doing things with my blood. One morning, I awoke like this. A shock of white hair, all trace of pigment gone. Upon seeing me, the mages were delighted. They realized that their experiments had finally succeeded. Sure enough, they ran a test and saw that two crests coexisted within me. Losing pigment from my hair wasn't the only loss. The mages informed me that my lifespan was now greatly shortened. 5 more years at most, perhaps less. Shortly thereafter, the mages lost interest in me, and we never saw them in the Ordelia household again. Since all that, our family has been in decline. It's challenging now even to govern our territory. After all my mother and father have suffered, I at least want them to have peace as they grow older. That is all I wish for, but I haven't much time to ensure it comes to pass. It's not like what's been done to me can be undone. Professor, the only way I can conceive of would be to remove my crest somehow. But I don't know if that's even remotely possible. Even if it were, I wouldn't be of much use to you and the others without my crests. You sound resolved. I'll allow your resolve to bolster my own. Thank you, Professor. I think we can do it.
Ah, yes. An excellent outcome.
The battlefield.
I work to grow. I'll do my best. How best?
This should be suitable.
I'm really
Now to apply.
I'll do... Oh.
I'm so glad.
Next time...
It's almost time to depart. Are you ready? A promising answer. Whatever happens, never allow your foe to see any weakness. We must pay close attention not only to Claude's schemes, but to the man himself. He's a master archer who wields the legendary bow, Fail Not. He won't fall easily. It's the relic of House Regan. That bow once belonged to one of the 10 elites. Professor, do you know the true story behind the legend? The relics were created by the hands of mankind. Saros collected them after killing the 10 elites. Saros manipulated the people of the world and defeated the all-powerful King Nemesis. The Church maintains the false history that he was corrupted and turned evil. However, it was little more than a simple dispute. Should the one leading the people of the world be someone with humanity, or a creature that can merely masquerade as a human at will? In the end, Saros was victorious. The Immaculate One and her family then took control of Fodlan. I know this because that knowledge is passed down from Emperor to Emperor. And that is because the first Emperor is the human who cooperated with Saros, allowing humanity to be controlled in secret. Perhaps it's fate that you can wield the sword of the Creator, just like Nemesis, the King of Liberation. And that very fate will lead you to use that sword to stand against those who would distort history.
It seems they've set out from Garreg Mach, and that's sooner than expected. Losing the Great Bridge of Myrden was a serious blow. So is the fact that Teach is still alive. On top of all that, Judith. I told her to run if things look grim. Damn it. So many people will die, and by my call.
And what of it? Would you rather turn tail and run back home?
Nadir, you're really getting on my nerves. Do you have any idea how much of the Alliance adores me and believes in me?
Well, I suppose it's quite a lot. Does that mean that...
Yes, the plan is a go. I'm counting on you, Nadir. We'll make a good show taking down those who would assault Deirdre.
People say our kind may not always win, but we never lose. Let's teach them the real meaning of those words.
Now then, let's see what you're made of, Teach.
Ah, yes. Professor, what brings you out so late? I've been worrying about something. I asked you once to help me achieve my goal of being a person who can simply nap all day. Then I thought, if the world becomes a peaceful place, all my crest research might be for naught. Well, I don't see how crests have much use in times of peace. Certainly there are crests that make you stronger and could be used in engineering. And I suppose crests that increase magical abilities might help doctors heal injuries. Still, the possibilities seem limited. It's as if crests were designed to be used only in times of war. Their power meant to bring about death and destruction. I cannot prove what I say is true, but suppose for a moment that it is. The longer this war goes on, the more useful my crest research becomes. But if the war were to end today, we would go on living, perhaps not using the power of our crests at all. It is truly my dream to be a crest scholar, but I also dream of all the wonderful naps peace would bring. Saying it all out loud, it feels a rather stupid thing to worry over. Knowledge or peace, sleep or war. Thank you, Professor. I appreciate the sentiment. Although if I stop researching crests, I'll have one less excuse to spend time with you. Professor, don't make faces like that. People like you, who listen to my blathering and then nod and smile as though what I say matters, people like you are very precious to me.
Thank you so much.
I knew you'd come through.
I have success!
It's all that.
Oh,
Huh, okay.
Hubert, my boy, it's rather rare for the two of us to see one another with no one else around, isn't it?
Yes, I believe it is.
I was good friends with your father, you know. Perhaps this is fate, eh? Of course, when I left the Empire, I broke off my friendship with him. And, well, everyone else.
You were right to sever ties with such a miserable piece of filth.
Sharp words, Hubert. Contemptible though your father may be, he is still your father.
Don't overcomplicate it. I will not forgive him. Ever. Contemptible is just the right word for the wretch. Do you truly know what kind of man my father was?
I assume you're talking about the insurrection of the Seven. At the time, I was already at Garrick Mach. I know nothing more than hearsay. That said, I found it hard to believe that Lord Vestra would challenge the Emperor like that.
Yet that's exactly what he did. Since the dawn of the Adrestian Empire, House Vestra has served House Hresvelg as the Emperor's right hand. My father spat on a legacy of loyalty and devotion that had lasted 1100 years. He conspired with the ministers to usurp power from the Emperor and Lady Edelgard.
In your father's defense, the Emperor was attempting to take power from the Seven Houses. The Emperor's reform was an attempt to concentrate power in the hands of the throne. The nobles put a stop to that. Emperor Ionius lost the ensuing power struggle.
Now it is the nobles' turn to suffer defeat. Her Majesty will crush all who oppose her.
You hope she can cease this never-ending conflict? That's quite a goal, Hubert.
Yuritsa?
What?
I've got it all figured out.
Hmm?
Your true identity. If my detective skills are correct, then you... the Death Knight, right?
Everyone already knows that.
What? Everyone knows? But how? And here I thought that I'd uncover your big spooky secret. Oh, Bernie, you're such a shut-in that you missed the biggest news in town. So, here's the deal, Yuritsa. You've got to tell me a secret about you that nobody else knows.
Why?
Because I sleuthed for hours upon hours. It's got to be rewarded.
Just stop.
Oh, come on. Please? Oh, I know. I've got it. Why do you wear that crazy-looking armor when you're pretending to be the Death Knight? Are you just into the look of it? You like spooky stuff?
Well, I may have been drawn to that aspect. To look sinister. To embody death.
Oh, I see. I thought maybe you put on that mask and armor because, just like old Bernie, you don't like talking to people.
There may be some truth to that. Talking to people is intolerable.
Oh, yeah? I think I'm sensing a real kinship between us. So, with that whole spooky getup on, it allowed you to speak to people with confidence.
No.
Oh, hey, Yuritsa. Don't tell anyone about this, okay? This is our little secret.
I don't mind, but I also don't understand.
Thank you so much.
North of the Great Bridge of Murden, the Imperial Army passes through the Allied territory of House Gloucester and invades the land of House Regan, which leads the opposition. They move to attack Claude in the capital, Deirdre, where the leader of the Alliance awaits their arrival.
Thanks.
Thanks.
You have my gratitude.
Thank you.
Here she comes, at long last. I've done all I can to prepare. Let the cards fall where they may. It'll be a true test of strength.
It seems Claude has blockaded the city and occupied the naval port.
If that is the case, he will have no choice but to engage us from there.
Yes. Though putting myself in Claude's place leaves me with an unpleasant feeling. If we take over the port and close the entry to the city, Deirdre will be under our control. Each soldier should bear that in mind as they advance.
There are 3 gates which connect Deirdre to its naval port. Taking the city will be easy once we secure all 3.
More fighting.
I'm awake.
Oh, yeah.
Put me in there.
For the Empire!
What's my strategy?
I do this for all of us.
I'll cut a bloody path. I owe you one.
Understood.
Ready for anything.
I will prevail.
Now it's our turn, Elmira's elite. Strike the flanks of the Imperial Army. Those fangs and claws the Alliance fears so much will now be their salvation.
Leave it to us, kiddo. My undefeated streak will live on. Another chapter in my heroic saga.
That flag and banner. Is that the Almiran army? Ugh, you really did it, Claude.
This is no ruse. That is Nadir, an Almiran general.
Take care of them quickly, especially those Almiran wyverns.
This could turn the tides.
Thanks, pal.
Thanks for helping.
Wonder there's a bounty on my head. Amazing what a little bloodshed can do.
Not for myself, for everyone. Hard work is a friend to count on. Bernie's just no good.
I'm impressed.
What a bother. Myron reinforcements keep coming. We should try to eliminate Nadir.
Bernie's unstoppable.
Well done. It won't be in vain. And
Pretty good, huh?
No time for accolades.
Sword coming!
Big win!
and I'll keep getting strong.
Well done.
So,
I don't know what happened.
Thank you.
I'll return the favor. My apologies.
slow.
Still here. Marnie's just no good. I fight for justice's name.
A waste of time.
This is critical.
Let's catch them off guard. I hate this feeling.
Professor, it's been too long. But now we're on opposite sides, huh? What a shame. I am not going to hold back. I can't let down my dear old Claude.
Here is something to believe in!
It's been fun, Claude. Sorry to go so soon.
Hilda! Why didn't you retreat? I counted on you retreating.
Oh, yeah.
Back off, Hilda. Holst wouldn't want this.
No, Balti, you back off. I'm right where I want to be. If you kill me here, I won't be the one my brother holds responsible.
If that happens, offering my life is the least I can do to make it up to him. That, and bringing you home.
It's been fun, Claude.
Hilda! Why didn't you retreat?
Put me in there.
What's my strategy?
For the Empire. You are in my way! Not for myself, for everyone.
It's been 30-odd years since I first set foot on a field of battle. Here's a taste of my undefeated strength. What's this?
My dreams and...
Pride. I will prevail. My heart burns with pride.
Ready for anything.
I'll cut a bloody path. Her will demands it.
More fighting.
I'm awake.
Shall I help?
Let's fight, then rest.
Oh, yeah.
Back.
No, if
that...
Hilda!
What's my strategy?
For the Empire.
Put me in there.
to survive, I will win. I fight for justice's name.
It's been 30-odd years. Time to get clever.
Unpredictable.
do this for all of us. Remain cautious.
Ready for anything. Exploit their weak spots.
Remain cautious.
Sorry, kiddo. It seems we'll have to withdraw.
You've done enough, Nadir. Just stay alive. We'll meet again one day.
We have forced the Almyran forces to flee. I doubt they're expecting more reinforcements.
More fighting. Thank you.
I'm awake.
Inspired.
I'll cut a bloody path.
Oh, yeah.
Put me in there.
Understood. Delight.
I owe you.
For the Empire!
What's my strategy?
Slow. So.
This is... I'm gonna haunt you if I die. A little scratch won't stop me. I will prevail. I needed that.
Whatever gets me by.
I owe you one.
Thanks so much.
going to plan.
I'm continuing to improve.
Who's next? Get in line.
More fighting. This is my stage now.
We don't have the guts to resist anymore. Here, you can have this. Just please don't attack the city.
I never planned to touch the city. Our target is the Alliance and their leader, Claude.
I'll cut a bloody path.
I'm awake.
Much needed.
Oh, yeah.
What's my strategy?
Understood.
I do this for all of us. Bernie's unstoppable.
Ready for anything. All is for victory!
A boon for our future.
You are impressive. I will prevail. No use! For the Empire!
You can't be too...
Winning is what matters.
Thanks.
A great...
Put me in there.
Each battle a victory. War fuels my body and mind. Well done.
That's the best. Well done.
If I live, I fight.
What a bother. It is all for Her Majesty.
You're fresh out of luck. Stronger the better.
Feels like fighting is all there is.
So sad that our reunion should take place on the battlefield.
Unleash.
We haven't seen each other since Garrick Mach. You've grown lovelier than ever, Edelgard.
You're not so unfortunate yourself. And as usual, you're here at a most inopportune moment.
Well, I'm sure we have much to talk about. But how about we settle things first?
No objections here. Prepare yourself, Claude.
No charge.
We won't hold back!
Teach. You should have chosen me instead of Edelgard. No point in whining about it now, I suppose. Sorry, but I'll be taking the win today. Enough. You've bested me. If I die here, the Alliance becomes part of the Empire.
Do you yield then? You've never known when to give up.
Well, I can't just surrender so easily. I'm responsible for the others. If you're as smart as you seem, I bet you figured out why I was able to summon Almyran reinforcements. Wouldn't it be better to let me go and have me in your debt? Thank you, Professor. And you, Edelgard. I'm truly grateful for your courageous decision. I will return your kindness one day. I promise.
Everybody, raise your voices in a victory cheer! Deirdre is ours!
Hey, Teach.
Claude!
Settle down, will you? You're the victor, after all. I could have escaped, but I decided to say hi to Teach. Nothing to worry about. Deirdre has fallen and the Alliance has collapsed. There's nothing I could do to turn things around at this point.
You want me to drop my guard around someone who evaded detection by my soldiers? Impossible. Did you really risk coming here just to say hello?
I did. But mostly, I wanted to say goodbye. I'm leaving Fodlan. Lend you my... I knew I liked you, Teach. I dare say Fodlan would be a lot more peaceful without me around. Right, Your Majesty?
It's as you say. So long as you remain here, the faction of the Alliance that is against the Empire will continue to support you.
Too true. It's best if I leave this place altogether. I'll just have to find some other way to pay back my debt to you. All I ask is that you go easy on the Alliance. After all, no one there would dare defy you now. And please treat my former classmates well. I've asked them to cooperate with you if I lost.
Wait, did your scheming include a plan for if the Alliance lost?
You think too highly of me. It just seems that way now. Outside of Deirdre, most of the Alliance is unscathed and ready to join your superior strength. In all honesty, I was hoping to become a supreme ruler and lead Fodlan to peace myself. But that won't be happening now.
Claude.
Good luck to you, Edelgard.
We crushed him in battle, and yet... he really is difficult to understand.
Lady Edelgard, Deirdre is now completely under our control. As planned, the Alliance's affairs will now be overseen by Count Burghley's.
My father is coming here? First west, then east. You sure keep him busy.
Should the others return to the monastery and prepare to face the kingdom?
Yes, thank you, Hubert. Thanks to all of your efforts, our battle with the Alliance has reached its conclusion. However, we still can't afford to be careless. We must now join the battle against the kingdom. With the strength of the Church on their side, they will prove to be a formidable enemy. More than ever, your support is invaluable. We'll need it in the days to come. But for now, let's enjoy our triumphant return.
Let's get to it!
I'm so happy that the end of the fighting is near. Too bad there's still more violence to come. The Kingdom and the Church of Seiros are worthy for fighting. I will crush them into very small pieces.
Crushing wouldn't yield a lot of pieces, but I guess it would get the job done. With the Professor, we can't lose. Probably.
Oh no. Are we fighting Lady Rhea? But she's scary, and she'll be really angry. But no way she can stay in her spooky beast form all the time, right? If she could, she would have come and attacked the monastery as many times as she wanted.
It may be wishful thinking, but perhaps it is a power that she can only access when the situation is dire. But whether she is the Archbishop or the Immaculate One, we cannot be stopped. Half remains, but half is finished. We are certainly moving forward.
No one can stop us from pushing forward. No one.
Part 2. Crimson Flower. Pegasus Moon. Tempest of Swords and Shields. With Deirdre under Imperial control, the Leicester Alliance ceases to exist, and its remaining lords ally themselves with the Empire. The Black Eagle Strike Force, having now conquered all of Eastern Fodlan, confidently moves to invade the kingdom.
And that concludes Count Burghley's report. Just as Claude said, The old Alliance has willingly fallen under Imperial rule. However, knowing him, there is no telling what manner of poison could be waiting within. We must be careful not to expose any weakness.
Of course, though it seems we can now attack the kingdom without issue.
True. However, you should know that Lord Arundel has entered Deirdre. It would seem he has already started collecting the relics of the old Alliance.
Let him do as he pleases for now. It's not yet the time to chide him.
Understood. As for the kingdom, as we theorized, it is not entirely united. If we defeat the royal family of House Blathed, and a handful of other notable houses, it should fall under our control quite readily. Those we must target include the houses Fraldarius, Galatea, Gautier, and Karen. We have allies who are close to some of those lords. Perhaps that can be used to our advantage. Persuasion by tears or threats. Perhaps one would consent to act as a hostage. We must make good use of the tools given to us.
What about House Row in Aryan Road, the fortress city? Will they not side with us?
The head of House Fraldarius, Lord Rodrigue, has entered the city. It is possible that he has seized it.
I see. Then it might prove too difficult to strike Ferdiad right away.
Either way, when preparations are complete, we can begin our deployment into the kingdom.
That part of the plan remains unchanged. Professor, is something wrong? Yes, I don't imagine that you have much interest in a running list of noble names. But it matters not. The nobility and the weight of all those names will be gone once the war is over. This month, we must again put all of our effort into preparing for battle. I'm counting on you, my teacher. Professor, you didn't hear anything just now, did you? Of course I am. It's nothing. Nothing at all. I told you it was nothing and I meant it. It's just... well, there was a rat. I don't enjoy the company of rats. I believe I've told you about this before. About when I was held captive beneath the palace. There were a lot of rats there. To this day, I just... What? Oh, Professor, leave here at once. I recall now that Hubert needs to speak with me. I must change my clothes. Now, whatever you do, don't look this way. Then forget what you saw. That's an order.
My room works better for me, but I am willing to compromise. For today. My, but you have exquisite taste in tea. This is one of my favorites. I always try to keep some around. Thank you. Delicious. Indeed. 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 What? The Ashen Demon. What an unbelievable title, knowing who you are now. Thank you for a wonderful time, Professor.
And that concludes my report.
Hubert, I can't shake the feeling that you're keeping more secrets from me.
I have told you before, there are secrets even I am unwilling to share.
I remember. However, I am the Emperor now. If the Minister of the Imperial Household does not obey his orders, I have the right to execute him.
I fear you have misunderstood me, Your Majesty. It is true that I am officially your minister, but such titles are of little significance to me. I serve you purely out of personal devotion. Perhaps there was a time when I served the Imperial line due to my duty as a member of House Vestra. But since you returned from the kingdom, my loyalty has been to you alone.
I see. Then you are unwilling to obey my orders as Emperor?
Correct. If you prefer to treat this formally, then charge me with a crime. I will gladly offer up my neck to the executioner.
You know I would never do such a thing, and that I pay no heed to the title you bear. It is your own presence and capabilities that I value so highly, Hubert. Titles are meaningless next to such things. Our families have no bearing on this matter, nor does the Empire itself.
In that case, Lady Edelgard, I ask you to turn a blind eye to my secrets. They're trifles, beneath your notice. Best I handle them alone. You should focus on the path ahead of you. The scarlet path I have carefully prepared. Whether that path is red with blood is not something you need trouble yourself over.
As Emperor, I'm obliged to accept that answer. However, as your friend, it irritates me to no end. You speak often of painting the path I walk, yet you do so in secret. I am the one you serve, but you refuse to let me in. I trust you, Hubert, and that is precisely why I want to know everything. Your secret hopes and burdens, all of it. If I'm truly the center of your world, then I wish you would trust me as well as I trust you.
Very well. You have me beaten. I will tell you as much as I am able. From the assassins I've eliminated, to the gold I've spent on bribes, to the identity of the one I love.
Wait a moment. Are you saying you have romantic feelings for someone?
Yes. That is the one secret I had particularly hoped to keep from you.
Well, that's utter nonsense. You can't possibly keep something so fascinating from me. Who is it?
It is you, Lady Edelgard. Did you ever really doubt?
Hubert, you never cease to surprise me.
Ah, the smell, the texture, the smooth finish. This region's tea is the finest in the world.
Hello, Ferdinand. You seem to be in a good mood.
What is that supposed to mean? Perhaps you expected me to hold a grudge against you after our duel. In fact, I have moved on.
Have you now? Well, I'm glad to hear it.
I took it hard at the time, I will confess. I always thought that I equaled you in skill, or even surpassed you. But you showed me that I do not come close to matching your talents. Yet a true noble does not give up in the face of defeat. I will continue my training, and one day I will be an elite warrior. That is the path I must take, as a noble and a man of honor.
You really are in a good mood. Your determination is admirable.
Yes, one day I will surpass your abilities, and I will defeat you in combat.
Ferdinand, there's something I've been meaning to say to you for a while now. Honestly, I couldn't care less that you were of noble birth. Your fierce determination doesn't come from your bloodline. It's your own doing. The reason I value you and want to be friends with you is because of who you are, not who your family is.
I have something I would like to say to you, too. Certainly we must recognize the common folk who strive for greatness and attain it. But for those of us born into nobility, things are more complicated. From birth, nobles must excel. If we do not, we will be forced out of our houses. This environment breeds superior individuals, and they in turn recreate the rigorous environment for their own children. Without that cycle, there would be no political elite guiding the world towards prosperity.
So you're saying that the kind of world I'm striving to create is wrong?
I would not go so far as to say your way is wrong, just that another way might be better. If you insist upon undoing the nobility, then we must build something in its place. We can provide free education for all, and then select the highest performing students for more intensive training and tutoring. I truly believe that people are products of their environment.
Finding a way to educate the people. Interesting. I'm impressed by how much thought you've given this. No matter what shape the world takes, I'm sure I'll always need people like you by my side. People with strong principles who will argue with me and force me to consider ideas that are contrary to my own.
Yes, exactly! Finally, Edelgard, you appreciate how important I am to your cause.
I've always thought of you as a valued friend, Ferdinand. That's nothing new.
Edelgard, I have to tell you something. I think now is the right time. Do you know what my ancestor Derek von Eyre said after your ancestor defeated him? He said, "You are an imperial beauty. Please, accept me as your husband."
Halt, Ferdinand. There's a time and a place for everything. But that time is not now.
Ferdinand.
Huh? Ah, Petra. Is there something I can help you with?
No, I am not needing help. I was just thinking that you look... lonely.
Lonely? In wartime? Hardly. I am too busy trying to survive to feel lonely. But once we have survived, what will you do with yourself, Petra? Return to your home? Edelgard said she would like you to ascend the throne in Brigid, to ensure good relations between the nations.
Yes. My plan is to be returning home. But if Brigid and Fodlan can be friendly, I will be able to have visits whenever I choose. Maybe it is even possible for me to be living in Fodlan.
Live in Fodlan? Do you not want to go back to your homeland?
I do have the hope of returning one day, but Fodlan is also like a homeland to me now. I came to Fodlan 9 years ago. I have been living half of my life here. My family is living in Brigid, but in Fodlan, I have new family and new friends.
New family? I am glad to hear you feel that way about us, Petra. In that case, we will have to make sure that none of us die. We do not want to lose anyone in the family.
Yes, we will be winning, and you will not be dying.
Ha! Do not worry. I do not intend to die. I have some things to do when the war is over.
Things?
Yes. You and I can be the link between Fodlan and Brigid.
Oh.
Okay, I have to confess. I fibbed a little. About not being lonely. When this war ends, I will be quite lonely indeed. If you go back to Brigid.
Is that a truth?
I have just made a decision. I will work as an ambassador, improving relations between our people. Whether you are in Brigid or Fodlan, I will be there too. Then both places can move forward together in eternal friendship. We ought to join forces and make that a reality. Do you not agree?
You have my gratitude, Ferdinand. All of it. I have loneliness just like you. But your words gave me great happiness. Please do what you are saying, and be a bridge for Fodlan and Brigid.
You can count on me. We will keep at it, and one day...
Yes, one day, we will be seeing that future.
I was under the impression you were going to break all of your paintbrushes.
Cut it out, Lindhart.
I'm just glad you're back to painting. I felt terrible about what happened last time, you know. Guess I should have kept my opinions about your painting to myself.
Maybe you should have.
So what do you suppose is the name for this kind of situation?
What situation? Am I in your way again? I must be. Okay, let me pack my things and I'll be off.
Ugh, no, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about when two people are together, but not together. when they're basically by themselves.
I'm not sure what you mean. I'm always alone.
Oh, alone? Well, there it is then. I suppose you could say we're alone together. We're each here alone, yet together. So we're alone together. What do you think?
Alone together? Oh, wait, I get it. That's just a nice way of saying you want to be alone, right? Alone. If that's what you mean, I'll go.
Please, Bernadetta, you shouldn't go. Being alone together means accomplishing more. We each have the concentration one gets from time alone, but also the thrill of being with someone else. I find it to be an exhilarating environment. Have you felt that as well?
Huh? Me? I'd rather be alone, but when I'm painting, and I know you can see, I worry about what you might point out about it. Is that the thrill you mean? Because I feel that.
Here's what I wish to point out about your painting. You've really improved. Your lines are bolder, your color choice is more informed, and your composition as a whole...
Did you actually just praise me, Linhardt? What's next? A rain of flying pigs?
I was just saying what I think. Look, you probably have talent, and you work hard, too.
Oh no, I'm on to you now. You're scheming, but you won't get anywhere by flattering me. Try all you want to get your hooks into my heart, you won't fool me!
I'm not sure how praising you means I'm trying to get my hooks into your heart.
I have a heart of stone. No one will ever get to it.
What a shame. I suppose I'll stop praising you then.
You will? No, I didn't mean it that way. You can praise me as much as you want.
I don't understand you one whit. However, if you want praise, then praise you will get. You're cute.
Don't say stuff like that!
All right, Yurikins, isn't it about time you let go of this grudge? I'm sorry I dragged you out onto the stage, but I can't believe you're still holding it against me.
I bear no grudge.
Then why do you get this stony look and face the other way anytime you catch a glimpse of me?
Oh, Ladybird. Truth be told, when I see you, it reminds me of my own self-loathing, of my past.
Huh. I didn't know you were carrying something like that.
You rose up from your hardships and became the lead singer for a prestigious opera, all on your own, while I made my way through the world by licking the boots of wretched nobles, watching you on stage from the sidelines. It wasn't until recently that I felt a real sense of accomplishment in my life. But recalling that first pivotal moment when I saw you on stage, you were brilliant. You shone like nothing I'd ever seen. Whenever I see you, Ladybird, I'm reminded of that moment. And in that moment, I had never felt so filthy and unlovable in all my life.
That's why you don't like singing? There's got to be more to it than that.
Back then, the Imperial capital was swarming with disgusting nobles. All of them vying for your attention, for the love of the Dorothea. Many were willing to compromise with an inferior substitute. If they couldn't have you, perhaps someone else was capable of singing just as sweetly.
You do what you must to chase your dreams. You say it left you filthy and unlovable, but my life didn't leave me unscathed either. There's not much love left in what I do. There was once, of course. As a child, I lived for singing. No matter how hard times got, I always had that. I counted myself so lucky to have met Manuela and joined the opera. But the more I sang for a living, the less certain I was that I loved it anymore.
You're a tricky one to assess. I can't tell if you're too wise or too naive for your own good. Whether or not your heart's in it now, you certainly didn't appear to hate it back then. I'd never seen you beam so brightly as you did when you helped me train for the performance.
You might be onto something. I felt genuinely happy in that moment.
You just lost your spark for singing. Nothing more. It's how I feel about it in a way. How about this? Why not join an opera that doesn't have dealings with nobles?
That's a great idea, actually. We'll start something new together, you and me.
I don't know about all that now.
The world is full of people who fell through the cracks just like us. We'll take them in whenever we can and aim to become Fodlan's premier opera company. I can't remember the last time I was this fired up. Though we'll have to table it until after the war.
Our own one-of-a-kind traveling opera. You know, that does sound fairly thrilling. I've no doubts it could help deepen our pockets.
Leave it to you to take all the romance out of it. But I know you're an idealist deep down.
Takes one to know one. I must say, I do enjoy seeing your mischievous side at work.
I'll take that as a compliment. I could say the same for you, too. It's exactly why I'm comfortable sharing this stream with you.
What's the use? Even with all I've learned, I still don't understand.
Hello, Constance. I hope I'm not interrupting.
Not at all. I was just in need of a sympathetic ear. I found a magical scroll, which, unless I am mistaken, should relieve me of my woes.
Oh, wonderful!
Not so fast. The magic within this scroll is a type I have neglected to study. It pains me to admit this, but it may take decades of going back to the basics to grasp it.
Decades? That's a long time to spend with your nose buried in an old piece of parchment.
Why must the goddess dangle a solution before me, only to cruelly pull it away?
There's no need to despair. To tell the truth, I like you just as you are.
You do? Why? Those low moods of mine have never done anyone the least bit of good.
You're like a little sister to me. Nothing you do will change that. Not even a little bit.
Really?
Of course. You're my sweet Constance, and I like you just as you are.
I see. Perhaps my moods are not the great burden I thought they were.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pressure you. No matter what decision you make, I support you.
I felt no pressure, I assure you. It's more that I feel embarrassed to have been embarrassed. I'd put so much effort into finding a magical means to alleviate myself that it never occurred to me that maybe all I needed was to accept myself.
What will you do with the scroll you found?
Oh, I'll continue to research it, for research's sake if nothing else. But I may have no need of it. It's not as if these moods of mine have ever hampered my efforts to restore my house. And I am as a sister to you, no matter which face I present, yes? Nothing, no mood, no foe, no obligation, will keep me from honoring my sisterly duty to protect you.
We can protect each other.
Good. It is settled. Now we can begin the hard work of reclaiming our title.
Absolutely. We'll become sister sages and restore our houses to their former glory.
You understand the plan perfectly. If we walk this path together, it can only end in triumph.
Hello, Emile. The War Council is about to begin. Come on. What's the matter? You're so pale. Have you been injured? Emile?
Must slay more.
What?
There is no pleasure to be had in these halls. My thirst is unbearable. Perhaps bathing in your blood will help satiate me.
Emile? Wait. You're not Emile. You're the Death Knight. You may look like him, but you are not him. He would never say such a thing.
What care I for names? I care only to kill or be killed.
I see.
So you want to kill me? Then do as you must. It is within your right.
My... rights?
Mother and I must be the reason the Death Knight exists within you. A young boy left all alone in House Bartels without us? I can't imagine how lonely and terrible that must have been. To our half-siblings who bore no crests, we were nothing more than intruders. Their horrible words and violent actions were only bearable because the three of us supported one another through it. All alone in a place like that, it's little wonder that you broke down as you have. We should have rescued you. We should have offered ourselves to save you.
Nonsense.
However, we cannot turn back the hands of time. Atonement is all I have for you now.
You don't understand anything.
Emil?
The day you left, 18 years ago, I told Mother to leave me there.
What? But why did you do such a thing?
I wanted to protect you. I am glad that we are reunited. I am happy that you are alive. I am so sorry, my dear sister.
Emil.